Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Newcastle won Anthony Martial. Newcastle have made formal contact with Martial's representatives. Newcastle are planning to spend big after their takeover by the Saudi Arabians was completed. Man United will demand close to the 54 million they originally paid for Martial back in 2015. Now, it said a few weeks ago that Manchester United are ready to sell Anthony Martial in January. There's quite a few clubs that have been in for him. Obviously, it said Barcelona are considering making a move for him next year. Martial has been a long-term target for Tottenham. Atletico Madrid were linked with him last summer. Don't forget Martial rejected the chance to join Lyon on loan on deadline day. And before the start of this season, it said Inter Milan wanted Martial to replace Lukaku because Lukaku went back to Chelsea. Before the start of this season though, it actually said Solskjaer refused to sell Anthony Martial as he remains part of his plans. Don't forget Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Martial surprisingly played against Everton and he scored. That was his first goal for Man United since February. Martial also played against West Ham in the Cup. He struggled to make an impact in that one. Martial has been at Manchester United for 6 years. He's got 3 years left on his contract. He's scored 79 goals for Manchester United in all competitions. Last season he was out with a knee injury for a while. The best season I recall Martial having was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. So that's the news on Anthony Martial. Newcastle have also been interested in Donny van de Beek. Van de Beek I think will leave in January. You know, Van de Beek's not getting enough game time at Man United. Now, Fabrizio Romano's already said that Donny van de Beek is planning to leave the club in January. Many clubs are in for him, you know. Everton are also in for him. Sky Sports recently said that Everton remain interested in Donny van de Beek. Everton were close to signing Donny van de Beek on loan, but Solskjaer rejected van de Beek's exit. Donny van de Beek's agent is said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Now, the other week, Donny van de Beek was furious with Solskjaer as he was left on the bench in Man United's win over Villarreal. Van de Beek was spotted throwing chewing gum in the dugout, and Donny van de Beek will try to force a January transfer away from Man United following his Villarreal meltdown. Like I said, I haven't really had much of a perception on Van de Beek at Man United, but in general, he is a good player. And I've said Solskjaer needs to start him, especially in the Premier League. Van de Beek played the full 90 minutes against West Ham in the Carabao Cup, put a good performance out. He started against Young Boys in the Champions League a few weeks ago, but got taken off at half-time in that game, and I heavily criticised Solskjaer for that, because Van de Beek was our best player in the first half of that game. Earlier on this season, Van de Beek told Solskjaer his best position. He reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. And don't forget, Van de Beek spoke about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Rio Ferdinand. He has to start against Leicester after this international break because Freddie's out for the trip to Leicester. This season is Van der Beek's second full season. We got Van der Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United until 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Next year, I think we're also going to offload Jesse Lingard. Newcastle could make a swoop for him. I think Cavani's going to be leaving next year. I can't say I want Cavani to leave though because Cavani has made an impact since he's come in. Cavani played against Everton before the international break. He had a very good chance from a downward header but produced a good save from Jordan Pickford. Cavani's obviously lost his place in the team with us obviously re-signing Cristiano Ronaldo. Cavani has under a year left on his contract. It was back in May Cavani signed that 1-year contract extension and he's on over £200,000 a week at Man United. It says Real Madrid want Cavani on loan in January. Real Madrid wanted Cavani in the summer transfer window, but the club failed to make a move happen. Real Madrid will wait until next summer for their main attacking targets Haaland and Mbappe. Barcelona tried to get Cavani on deadline day in the summer transfer window. Obviously Barcelona didn't get him. I presume they'll reignite their interest in January. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani's got a very good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Juan Mata, I'm expecting Man United to offload him next year. Juan Mata's contract at Man United expires next summer. Earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why we give him that 1-year contract extension because Juan Mata doesn't even get in our team. Plus, he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up. But despite that, I reckon that Juan Mata has had a good career at Man United. Juan Mata has been at Manchester United for like 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. And at the first part of last season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. We got Juan Mata back in 2014 from Chelsea. Got him in a deal worth £40 million. There's a good chance that we're going to offload Alex Telles next year. Telles doesn't really get in our team. He was only playing recently because Luke Shaw had a minor injury and he had illness. Telles played against Villarreal, scored a very good volley. He also played against West Ham in the Cup and he put a good performance out. Telles was out with injury earlier on this season. The reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw, but since we brought Telles in, we've seemed to get the best out of Luke Shaw. We got Telles for 15.4 million from Porto. There's a good chance as well that we're going to offload Phil Jones. Phil Jones doesn't get in R11. Jones has always been inconsistent. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. This season is Jones' 11th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. At one point, he was out with a knee injury for a while. Eric Bailly, I think we could be offloading him next year. I don't want us to though. I think we should keep Bailly as a backup. Bailly played against West Ham in the Cup. That was his first start of the season, and what a performance he put out. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. My only element of concern about Eric Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect is a liability. And there's a good chance we're going to offload Diego Dalot next year. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Dalot played against Villarreal only because Wan-Bissaka wasn't available. Bissaka was suspended. Dalot was poor against Villarreal. He played against West Ham Dalot though, and I thought he did well in that game. Last season Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. We got Dalot 3 years ago from Porto. We paid 19 million for him, and he's got a contract with Man United till 2023. And there's a good chance that we're going to be offloading Amad Diallo next year. Don't forget, he was close to joining Feyenoord on loan in the summer transfer window, but the reason his loan move didn't materialise is because he picked up an injury and he was out for like 5 or 6 weeks. I think we should also offload Fred next year because Fred isn't good enough to represent the club. Yesterday I gave you the news on Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo was named Premier League Player of the Month for September. Ronaldo has obviously scored 3 goals in the Premier League so far for Man United since he re-signed, and he scored 5 goals in all competitions. So he's done really well since he's come back. Don't forget, Ronaldo was annoyed with Solskjaer after Man United's 1-1 draw with Everton. Ronaldo stormed down the tunnel. Solskjaer got criticised for not starting Ronaldo against Everton, but Solskjaer came out and said that he had no regrets over not starting Ronaldo. The other week it said Ronaldo wants to retire at Manchester United and then coach Cristiano Jr. in the Red Devils youth team. Prior to the Villa game, Solskjaer said he believes Ronaldo can keep playing for Man United into his 40s. Ronaldo's 36 at the moment. Ronaldo has already hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract. Ronaldo's under contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year, and Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. Ronaldo wears a number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. But yeah, Ronaldo is the greatest player of all time. He's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Now, recently I have been talking with you a lot about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer has received strong backing from Man United's football director. John Murtough come out and said that we need to keep control and not deviate from the plan. John Murtough has said that Solskjaer demands more time. We made the right decision getting John Murtough in, because I did mention that we needed a director of football because it's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. Also, Ed Woodward has backed Solskjaer. A while ago, Woodward did say that he'd backed Solskjaer, and he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe, even when we was enduring them bad periods where Ollie was close to being sacked. We know Woodward's leaving Man United. It got announced he was leaving back in April when that European Super League came into the equation. Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. But he's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time, because Woodward was accountable for how poor our recruitment was for so long, plus we've overpaid in that for players in recent years. Darren Fletcher also backed Ollie in the summer transfer window. And the Glazers backed Solskjaer, but only because they'd been persuaded to. Because towards the end of last season, the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League, and reflecting on that, there was Man United fans protesting against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground. Then they started protesting against the Glazers outside Old Trafford. But Solskjaer did reveal that the Glazers apologised. It said towards the end of last season that the Glazers could have been forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Don't forget, it recently said the Glazers are selling 8% of Manchester United, and the shares that are worth 137 million. I'll revert back to what I said on one of my other videos. Will the Glazers sack Solskjaer? Well, it said not so long ago that the Glazers were unhappy with Solskjaer because of 3 players. But the Glazers have been with us now for like 16 years. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. But yeah, Solskjaer is under pressure because we've only won 2 of our last 6 games in all competitions. He said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future as manager could depend on the next 10 games. But Man United are still fully committed to Solskjaer and have no plans to replace the club legend as manager despite a topsy-turvy start to the season. The vast majority of Manchester United fans are Ole out. Maybe there's still some Man United fans that are Ole in. You know, you've obviously got some Man United fans that want Antonio Conte to replace Solskjaer. There's obviously some United fans that are demanding Zidane in to replace Solskjaer. You know, Solskjaer has to win a trophy at Man United, I'd say, this season to basically save his job. Excuse me. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer even came out and said that we must leave a legacy of silverware. Well, we know Solskjaer's ambition for this season, and that's to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, that's 8 years ago now. And I'm very sceptical that we're going to win a Premier League title under Ole. I think a lot of United fans are sceptical about it. But we should be winning the league this season. Revert back to what I've mentioned before. We've got a title winning squad, so there's no more excuses. Solskjaer's ran out of excuses. And even earlier on this season, Solskjaer told his Man United squad that it's better than the 1999 treble winning team that Ole was part of. You know, this season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. And I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer, because he's got big expectations to exceed. Obviously, in the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. And we made a mistake giving him that new contract, because I can assure he won't see it out. I think a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. I'm surprised Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager. But like I said before, the reason he is still Manchester United manager is because he's a legend of the club. That's what's basically saved his job. Disregarding him being a legend of the club, I can assure he wouldn't have been here by now. You know, in December, Solskjaer would have been in charge of Manchester United for exactly 3 years. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The reason he got the job permanently back in March 2019 was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. A lot of United fans have got strong reservations about Solskjaer's decision making. Analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. And Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, that's definitely a concern. Obviously, he hasn't won anything with us yet as manager. Before us, he was at Molde. Yeah, he won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was disastrous. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Cardiff. Solskjaer has a proven pedigree as a player because obviously he won a lot of trophies at Manchester United as a player, didn't he? Solskjaer, since he's come in, he's signed 14 players. And we've spent like 441 million under Solskjaer, and Solskjaer's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. You know, Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. You know, he's got rid of a lot of players permanently, loaned a few players out in this year's summer transfer window. In Solskjaer's first full season, he got us to 3 semi-finals, and he got us a 3rd place finish. In his second full season, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final. Last season, he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager. Fortunately, we didn't win it, and last season, Ollie got us a 2nd place finish. So what Ollie produced in his first full season, his second full season, he's looking to build on that this season. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League. We are unbeaten in our last, 29 Premier League away games. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League since January 2020. So yeah, we've been far superior away from home than we have been at home. We've been very poor at home. A lot of our defeats seem to be coming at home. We need to replicate at home what we're doing away from home. I also like the way Solskjaer develops the youth as well, and Solskjaer's more or less giving everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players, like he surely would do when he got appointed in as Man United manager. But I've got to give Solskjaer credit and say he has done a pretty good job to say the current squad he was left with. I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done, so in that aspect I'm shocked. You know, despite me criticising Solskjaer a lot during his managerial tenure. But Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. He's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. Since Ferguson, we sacked Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And we're not even really known as a sacking football club because we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers. Now, obviously, yesterday I gave you the news on Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba admits he always speaks to his ex-Juventus teammates. And Paul Pogba refuses to rule out a Juventus return after France beat Belgium. Well, earlier on this season, Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola suggested that Paul Pogba could return to Juventus from Man United on a free next summer, because Mino Raiola did mention that Turin is still in Paul Pogba's heart. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. But earlier on this week, it said that Paul Pogba wants to stay at Manchester United and he wants to sign a new contract worth £400,000 a week. That would make Pogba one of the best paid players at the club. Paul Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract. He said before the start of the season that Pogba sees a long-term future at Man United but may wait on the contract extension. Earlier on this season it said Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. Not so long ago it said Man United set the Paul Pogba deadline. It said we want Paul Pogba's future to be sorted by Christmas. Pogba's also been linked with Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Don't forget it said PSG are prepared to offer Pogba £510,000 a week in wages to prize him away from Man United. Barcelona, I think, want him next summer, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. So he's had a long-running transfer saga. But I want Paul Pogba to stay because he's enjoyed a very good start to the Premier League season. He's already got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. Don't forget, at one point last season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. You know, Pogba's won 3 trophies at the club so far. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. So there you go. So anyway guys, there'll be more videos coming up later. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe. As always, take care, God bless. See you all again soon. And subscribe to the channel, it's Red Devil 24.